Joining us now is Lieutenant Chris Olivarez. He's a spokesperson for the Texas Department of Public Safety. Lieutenant Olivarez, it's great to see you this morning. I know we're kind of piecing together exactly what happened, and you're coming on this morning and you actually have new details of what went down at that school. Will you please let us know what you learned this morning?
Right. So good morning. Of course, we want to offer our condolences to the family on behalf of the Texas Department of Public Safety as we continue to mourn with the victims, with the families, and the entire community here in Uvalde. Also praising the brave law enforcement, our first responders that arrived on scene during this active shooter situation. So what we do know is that the shooter was involved in a domestic disturbance with his grandmother prior to the shooting at the school. He did shoot his grandmother at that point. He then fled in a vehicle and was in close proximity near the school where we got calls. Local law enforcement at the Uvalde Police Department received a call of a crashed vehicle and a individual armed with a weapon making his way into the school. At that point, we had local law enforcement, school officers, as well as state troopers who were first on scene and were able to hear the actual gunshots inside the classroom. They tried to make entry into the building. They were met with gunfire by the suspect, by the shooter. Some of those officers were shot. So at that point, they began breaking windows around the school, trying to evacuate children, teachers, anybody they could, trying to get them out of that building, out of that school. What we do know at that point, the shooter was able to make entry into a classroom, barricaded himself inside that classroom, and again, just began shooting numerous children and teachers that were in that classroom, having no regard for human life, just a complete evil person by not having any regard for children. Anyone that's inside that classroom just began shooting anyone that was in his way. At that point, we had a tactical law enforcement team arrive, made up of multiple federal officers, local officers, as well as state troopers that were able to make forcible entry into that classroom. They were met with gunfire as well, but they were able to shoot and kill that suspect. And right now, at this point, we have 19 children that are deceased and 2 teachers as well.
Lieutenant, he barricaded himself in that room with those students and those teachers. He had a weapon. He was armed, and I guess he would have been able to reload. What sort of a weapon was he using to be able to kill that many people in a short period of time?
Right, so what we do know right now that it was a long rifle platform type rifle. We are working with ATF to try to determine exactly what type of rifle, the capacity, how he was able to obtain this rifle, when it was purchased, and also working with FBI to find out if there was any type of indicators, any red flags prior to this shooting, checking social media platforms as well, talking to anybody that may have known this individual. What we do know about the shooter is that he is a resident here in Uvalde, lived with his grandparents, was unemployed, did attend one of the high schools here in the community as well. We do not know if he had any friends, no girlfriends, but as of right now, it's just a complete tragedy here in Uvalde, in a small, tight-knit community right now.
You say he shot his grandmother, hopped in a car, the car wrecked by the school, and he was decked out in body armor and armed. Do you believe that his intended target was the school, or did it just so happen that he crashed his car and was looking for some place to run into and ran into the school?
Right, so that's a good point. That's one thing that we are trying to determine and have accurate information on. We want to be able to report accurate information. So again, we're working with FBI, ATF, our local law enforcement officials here on scene, as well as with school police officers. Right now, our Texas Rangers are the lead investigators in this mass shooting, but does goes to show you the intent by having that type of weapon, also multiple, ammunition with him as well, and making entry into that school and wearing some type of body armor. What we do know for a fact, though, is that it was a tactical vest. Unsure right now if there was any type of ballistic material or any type of ballistic panels inside that carrier, but again, shows the intent of this evil person going into this school and having complete disregard for human life.
Do you have any idea how long he was in there and shooting before police arrived?
Right, so we're still working on that timeline right now, but what I can tell you when I first mentioned that we did have multiple officers on scene that responded within a moment's notice and without hesitation tried to make entry into that school, but at that point they were at a point of disadvantage because the suspect, the shooter, had barricaded himself inside that classroom. So it was within a moment's notice that they were able to respond on scene and try to evacuate the majority of children, teachers inside that school to prevent any further loss of life.
Lieutenant Olivarez, you're a lieutenant, obviously, but you're also a dad. Just wondered how you made sense of this when you went home last night, if you did.
It's just, it's hard. I've been asked that same question, and it's hard to put into words. I actually attended my daughter's awards assembly yesterday prior to getting the news and coming over here to Uvalde. So it's just complete tragedy, and it's really hard to put into words and unimaginable of what could actually take place, especially having children of your own in schools and not knowing what could take place, especially in a small community such as Uvalde. But this can happen anywhere. So it's very concerning to us as law enforcement, even as a parent as well.
I know. All right, Lieutenant Olivarez, thank you so much. Hearts and prayers are going out to your tiny community. We appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you.